I mean, I made a joke about you having to come home and shave your wife's pussy.
2 of them. Both of them, yeah. It's funny. Well, welcome to episode 15, everyone. That's a hell of a way to start the episode.
Start that, put that on the internet and see what happens.
Yeah. Well,
dude,
lots of fun stuff to talk about today.
Fuck yeah, man. We had a great weekend last weekend.
Indeed. Last weekend we went to the Buffalo Trace Distillery.
We did a little Kentucky tour.
Yeah,
got a Kentucky hug while we were on the Kentucky tour.
Hug. Yeah, it was good, man. Good times. And so we'll throw up some cool images and shots of that as we talk about a little bit of what happened there.
Yeah.
We've got some great music planned for the day. We thought, what would be a good idea for the next show? And we were talking about, there's a lot of local bands where we live here in West Virginia, but also from where you're from, you know of a couple of folks in that area. So we'll get to that in the next episode. Today, we're talking about West Virginia, local metal,
local booze,
and local booze.
So
what do we have here?
So we have Bullock Distillery. So you have the Tanner and the Bullock family. The Tanner family has been known for a long time to produce pretty quality moonshine in West Virginia, and the Bullock family has been producing whiskey in North Carolina since before the Revolutionary War. They fused together, and there's a spring, Bullock Spring, outside of Greenbrier, that is where they get all their water. So it's a special type of water, limestone, which is very typical for water production in whiskey. But this one, they don't have to do carbon filter or reverse osmosis, and that's pretty cool. You have a 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley blend. This is a cask strength, so you're 117 proof, and I mean, it's a local brew that's great.
People are talking a lot about it around here.
So they're filtered one, the 100 proof, won double gold in San Francisco. So they've got props. Yeah. They have some good stuff.
It's a great flavor.
Just down the street from my house.
We've been sipping on it for a few minutes now, and it really does have a great flavor, great look. Look at the color of that.
Yeah, it's
really nice color.
Really
Bottle
rich.
Looks good.
So they have this one. I don't think they're selling anymore, but they do have their normal 100 proof, and they have a couple different rye expressions, and they've been coming out with specialty single barrels for. I know they had a Valentine's Day one. I think they had a St. Patrick's Day one. Father's Day. So they've been doing some really cool things, some good marketing, and above all, the fluid in the bottle's friggin' great.
That's great. Well, let's listen to some great West Virginia metal, shall we?
Yeah, let's do.
This first band comes from a guy I met on a pretty sad occasion. Byzantines, some friends of mine, their band Byzantine. Some of you may have heard of them. They lost their original drummer a couple years back. And at his funeral, I happened to meet this cat. His name's Michael Cook, and also his the vocalist in this band, Brian O'Malley. So these guys are really nice dudes, and so their band is called Sapergen. And so let's give them a listen.
Let's listen.
I already know what they sound like, but this song's pretty damn good.
Got a nice groove to it, man.
Yep. Thrash metal influence. Good tone. Guy's got cool guitars.
A little gallopy.
Yep.
I like it.
He's got like it's like a Rhodes Pro signature. It's like some offset V.
Okay.
Super sweet. Guy's got a good voice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool stage presence too. I mean, he's just running back and forth across the stage all the time. There's a video for this on YouTube.
Okay.
Have to check it out.
Maybe we should put a link in the description.
Yeah, put a link in the description to each one of these bands, in fact. See, I like how they switched that.
Nice.
That's cool. Guy can write a riff, man. He was texting me the other day. He said, I got some new riffs I'm gonna send your way.
Awesome.
So he was asking me about my white Explorer over there because he was wanting an '84 Explorer like that. And so I've given him some links on how to get to find those, and he's like, "Well, I got some new riffs for you, so you can check out." I'm excited to hear it.
Absolutely.
This track's killer.
I get like a strong, if Metallica and Pantera had a baby.
Yeah,
I get that feel.
Dude, we've talked about that. You know, Metallica, Pantera, Lamb of God, Slayer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of his influence. That's very Lamb of God-ish right there.
Very much.
Good groove, nice bass groove in the back.
I love it. You know, it's amazing how people don't ever give a lot of credence to bass.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah, you got to have it. And I think, you know, the bass player always catches hell, you know, because they're just not as cool. But I don't know, man. I think that's kind of switching up because bass is such a prominent instrument in metal nowadays.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Unless the lead singer is also the bass player tends to be
Yeah.
the
Well, one
guy
thing-
who back there who's just hitting strings.
One thing I kind of learned over the years is how much the bass guitar actually affects the final sound of the whole group. Because, you know, growing up in an era where a lot of, you know, guitars were like mid-scooped, meaning that high frequency, low frequency are here and mids are down here. So you got this V on the curve of the equalizer. So that really, when guitars started coming up into the mid frequency, because they're a mid frequency instrument, that let the bass kind of come through more and do what it's supposed to do. Because the bass on the guitar comes down, the bass in the actual bass frequency comes up, and it makes the blend is far better that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll notice a lot more people now are, if they're not straight across the board, it's a lot more mid-focused in guitars because it's a mid-range instrument anyway.
Right.
You've got the rhythm section, it's all, you know, bassy, and you got the highs are coming from the drums, so you don't need a whole lot of highs in the guitars. It gets real shrill without it.
Okay.
So you middle it out.
So I want you all to pay attention to Aaron's fucking TED Talk, which was goddamn awesome.
Yeah. Equalization. It took me a while to learn that shit, man. Now I use a lot more mids than I ever did now. But a lot of guitar pickups are even getting more mid-range focused because that was kind of what they were back in the day. Like the PAF and all that stuff, they were mid-range focused because that's what the guitar was supposed to be, a mid-range instrument. Boring, I know. Let's get back to the booze.
I love it, man, because this is,
Well, you know booze, I know music, so
and we can appreciate each other's passion,
yeah,
if you will.
indeed. Love that riff right there. Simple. He's just kind of hanging out in that ballpark. He goes a half step there and then a half step down.
Okay.
That's all it is. It's like got that whole note, half step higher, half step lower. It's great. Good job, Michael.
Yeah, you've got my head moving.
That's heavy as shit, dude.
Anything that gets the stank face.
Yep. Well done, boys.
Yeah.
Saprogen, everybody.
I love it. And where are they based out of?
Charleston.
Okay.
Yeah, Charleston, West Virginia. The album that they put out was in 2021, so I'm assuming that they're writing riffs for the next one. So
Yeah.
be excited to hear that.
Good job.
Yeah, man. Very cool song. So the next track I've got is from the band that I used to be in, Let the Guilty Hang. Maybe I'm a little biased. I wrote quite a bit of this song. I've always been really proud of it. And, you know, Let the Guilty Hang for me was just it was kind of one of those things where I had a little stint with them at one point, and some other things got involved. So it was always kind of like a rotating door between me and this cat named Joe Bear, also a great guitar player. So it started with him. Then he had to leave. I come in for like a few months, and then I had to leave. Then he came back in for about a year or two. And then they called me on my birthday in 2008. And like, Joe had to leave again, so why don't you come and play this show with us? I had 2 days to learn the entire set again. So
No pressure.
no pressure at all. I did that, and then it turned into 6 years later. And so
Well,
helped write this record. The record is called In Tongues, and this track is called Sleeping Bones.
yes. It gets right to it like you love.
Yeah, we didn't fuck around on this one.
I mean, I have this album. There's not a lot of fucking around the whole album.
You'll notice, listen how high that bass is. We just wanted our bass guitar to be more prominent. It's good.
Definitely comes through.
Great riff that my buddy Bevar wrote. Love this riff.
Bevar.
Man, he could He can, like I said before, man. My dude can write a riff.
We need to have his punk ass in here.
Sure. So when I wrote this riff, I was thinking of In Flames. So I was really listening to a lot of In Flames at the time. And I was like, man, it originally had a little. So this is like in a 4/4 time.
Okay.
I originally wrote the riff in like a 6/8 time, so there was like an extra beat and a half or something in the riff. And for whatever reason, we just couldn't mix it. When we were writing, we just couldn't all get on the same page with it. So we just decided to cut that little section out, which turned out to be fine. I mean, it's still killer.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be interesting to do a remaster version of it, see if you guys could make the 6/8 happen as a I don't know, remix, whatever they call it.
Yeah, a remaster. Yeah, would be cool. I don't know that there's even. I don't think we even recorded a demo of using that.
Well, the transitions in this song's great, man.
Yeah, real proud of this song. This whole section, this whole middle section, is real influenced by like Megadeth. Me and Beavar just kind of going nuts, you know.
Two solid influences, I would say.
That little thing came from the house Jack built, Metallica riff. Beavar's like, hey, do you remember what they do on House of Jack built when they do that little arpeggiate thing? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it just sounded so cool right there.
Also a great song.
Yeah, indeed. This riff, I was thinking of, there's a Trivium riff in a song called Entrance to the Conflagration. And it's sort of like this, so I kind of based it around that. It's kind of anthemic. All those voices.
Yeah. Well, you love that 4/4
Yeah.
pump the fist in the air.
It's killer.
Gets people going.
Yep.
And as a musician, I'm sure that that's a big part of the goal.
So me and Beavar do offsetting leads, so that's me, I'm first, then him. And it just goes back and forth like that for a couple passes. I love that dude. Beavar's killer. Much better than I am. Then he ends it up right here. Double. Sweet.
You know, that's something I did miss during this. Some of that era was the guitar solo.
Yeah.
You know, we had a time frame where new metal was a big thing, and you really kind of missed out on. And we talked about that on our drive. I think it was a Trivium song, how they kind of brought back at least that realm of metal.
Yeah, somewhere around 2003, 2004, the new wave of American heavy metal started coming through. And that's where everybody was like, you know what? This 5-year drought of cool guitar solos is just kind of ran its course.
Yeah.
Let's come up with some shit.
Bring it back.
And then those two boys, Corey and Matt Heafy, man, they were just a force.
Would that have been cool to have Matt play something with you guys?
Yeah.
Because you opened for him once, didn't you?
We did, yeah. That was probably 2000. I'm not sure if I was in the band. No, we didn't open for him. We just were at the show, I think. We just were
Okay.
there.
That's
there was
what
a
it
couple
was.
of us that were there, yeah.
You just beat his ass in pool.
Yeah. We
That's
played
what it was.
pool, and it was him and their drummer at the time. His name was Travis. And we were shooting pool in the main lobby. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was at the time, the height of my pool sharking career, and I was smoking people's asses. So here we go.
Which financed all of this great stuff that you're looking at right now.
Yeah. My pool sharkness paid for everything. No. Here we go. So, speaking of whipping everybody's asses, you know, there's a thing in West Virginia, or a band in West Virginia, Byzantine, that just kind of pummels us all, you know, sort of in a way. And they do it in a way that with love and compassion, because they're not trying to. They're just, my guy, Chris Ojeda, ever how you want to say it, is just
Probably however he wants to say it.
yeah, they're just the most fertile. He has one of the most fertile minds for riffs, as metal riffs. He's like the Jimmy Page of metal riffs for me. Like, the dude can't do anything wrong. And I thought, you know, what's the heaviest I don't know, not really the heaviest, really, but just what's the most pummeling track I could give you, and to the listeners. And so I chose Pathogen from their self-titled record. Fast as shit.
Okay.
I've talked to him about this riff before, and he's like, it's the fastest thing I've ever had to record. So let's check it out.
Yeah. It's pretty fast.
Yeah. So that right hand, dude, and he uses so little gain, like gain frequency with the distortion on his tones that articulation is a must. So I can only imagine how he wasn't lying when he said that this was so difficult to do.
So you've talked about gain several times now, and since we are on the TED topic of, Master Aaron giving us info, enlighten us on what gain means.
Well, so you have a clean sound, and then you turn up the distortion. Essentially, that's what the gain stands for. It just gives it more distortion, distorts the signal, and then you can add certain pickups to flavor it, sort of like a whiskey or something. You have a clear whiskey, and you add all these things to it.
White Dog?
Yeah, White Dog. Yeah. And then they stick it in the barrel, and it adds colors and flavors and all that.
Okay.
Same thing with the gains. You turn it up, turn it down, whichever is your flavor. And he's found a winning flavor with low gain. I'm not there. I like a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, you said that before, that you like to just crank up the gain. So
yeah, I mean, I'm much less than I used to. Love this.
Yeah.
That riff. But I'm much less gain than I used it before, but I still like more than most of the people that I hang out with.
Now, this is going to be a leading question, I suppose. Is there a correlation between the desire or the want of gain inversely to skill? Do people use gain to mask?
That's sometimes you can kind of think you could maybe make that correlation.
Okay. It's definitely not accusatory, because I can imagine there are people who do use gain who are incredibly talented, and there are people who are not very talented who don't use gain. But I was just wondering, in the realm of metal,
there's also certain effects, different effects that people use to mask imperfections in their playing. For example, Kirk Hammett gets a lot of shit for using wah pedals when he plays solos. He just happens to like the way that sounds.
Right.
But people, the internet, I say people, but it's the internet.
Fucking internet.
Constantly goes after him because he likes that sound, and they say that he's masking imperfections. Well, my dude is 62 years old. He can fuck up if he wants,
Well, he's probably the most notorious guitar player of any heavy metal band of all time.
And he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to cater to your thoughts.
No. You're listening to it, whether you like it or not, you're listening to it. So he's obviously done something to attract your attention, positive or negative. He won. He just won.
Yep.
So suck a dick.
That's how I feel about this last riff in the song. So simple. Because there's notes in there.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Epic.
My guys in Byzantine
Brilliant.
are brilliant musicians, man. The newest iteration of Byzantine, I guess they've been working together since probably maybe 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. Chris, and you've got Matt Bowles, who used to be in a band called Our Malignant Beloved. I think we've talked about them before on the show. And bass player Ryan Postlethwaite, he's from Pittsburgh. And then Hendo plays lead guitar. Used to be in a band called Split Nixon, which I thought about putting one of my favorite Split songs on here. But the thing is that it's not metal, but it is $1 million hit. But maybe we'll get to that another time. So for now, this other band that I was always really happy. I enjoyed playing with this band a lot. We did a couple of shows with them back in the day, and actually, fun story about Horse Burner is that one show we were playing with them in Huntington. I was borrowing, for whatever reason, I borrowed one of the guitar players, one of his pedals, and I can't even remember what the pedal was or why I used it, but I broke it.
Oh no!
So I gave him one of mine in return. I was like, "Here, I broke yours, but here's one of mine in return." I don't even know that they even need it, but So let's get right down to it.
How did you break it? That's what I want to know.
don't-
Would you just stomp on it,
I
or
mean, we did drink a lot and probably stomped on it. I think I broke the connection, like the cable connector.
Gotcha.
area, but this song comes from their, I think it came out in 2017, 2018 maybe, album called The Thief, and it's Hand of Gold, Man of Stone. My jam, man. Love this track. So, Horse Burner is kind of like stoner, like they dip the toe into the doom
right?
range of metal. Real brash sort of guitar sounds. Kind of reminds me a lot of like Matt Pike.
Okay. I get like a sped up crowbar here.
Yeah, very very crowbarish. So yeah, it's just fun to listen to. Great live band. These guys are killer. You ever heard of Baroness?
Yes.
They remind me a lot of Baroness. Too.
Okay. Yeah, I topped yours off a little bit. I hope you didn't mind. You were
course not.
chatting. It looked a little low.
Yeah.
We have another song to go.
Appreciate it.
Can't let that happen.
I like the gang vocal approach they use. It's almost like a call and response.
Yeah.
So they chant and the guitars speak back, you know? Or whatever that noise is. Keyboard. Yeah. They're good at this. Their transitions from
Yeah, some nice atmospheric move. A little prog metal
Oh, definitely.
influence there.
yeah. They're doing things, man. They've got a couple records out. The name's getting out there.
That's all we can hope for
Yeah.
for good metal. Well, if you and I ever blow up, then people will hear them. All 10 of you sons of bitches who listen to us on the
what do we
regular.
got? Like 10, 11, 12 subscribers?
Yeah, we hit double digits finally.
Yeah.
It'd be great if we had at least a listener for every episode we have.
That'd be cool.
I mean, that's the goal. Because there's so much whiskey and so much metal to listen to. I mean, I may have a colostomy bag and whatever,
sure.
and you're sitting here still
We'll
talking
need-
about it when I'm 80.
We'll have like bowls setting aside with functioning fake livers in them. Just it's kind of like dialysis.
Put up pictures of our transplant donors who helped us out along the way.
Kept us going. Faithful listeners of the show.
Is that your junk? No, that's my liver. Today we're going to learn about ascites.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This band's just cool. They just jam.
Yeah.
It's like it's good. Like if I was still riding my motorcycle, I would want to listen to Horse Burner. You know?
Okay.
Because it's like, you know,
So
fist pumper.
instantly they strike me as maybe not being so serious about themselves, but just
Yeah.
having a good time.
Yeah, and that's kind of the. If I remember correctly, when I met these dudes, I mean, it's been years now since that show happened. They were like that, you know. Like I broke the guy's pedal. He's like, "Yeah, fuck it." And I was like, "Well, here, you can have one of mine." You know? This is what we do.
Right.
It's good dudes. But they do. They have always reminded me of Baroness, and I've tried to think of other things like High on Fire. I'm Sleep. I'm not super well versed in doom metal.
Right.
My brother, who lives in Michigan, he likes doom metal a lot, so he sends me some stuff.
It's its
Share
own
back and
flavor.
forth, yeah.
I mean, I do love some doom metal, but it's definitely it's a mood music for
And
sure.
I feel like if I still smoked a lot of weed or something, that I would
Yeah.
definitely be into it.
I'd say there's a pretty solid connection between doom and stoner metal.
Yeah. I mean, I do love the Black Sabbaths and
Well, it's
things of that world.
the father of metal.
Yeah.
It's pretty much doom was the beginning of it.
Yeah, for sure. It was. Then they wrote the Palm Muted riff, and that changed everything.
Changed it all.
It's just, I mean, and they're not really doing anything like super crazy, and that's what kind of I sort of gravitate to a band like this because it's just really simple power chord based rhythm in the background.
Yeah.
There's no crazy note shit going on. And then they let the lead guy just whack off. It's great times. Fun to listen to.
Whack off. I mean, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with the bunghole.
Speaking of bunghole,
That was some learning we had there in Kentucky.
yeah,
The hole in the whiskey barrel.
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
It was called a bunghole.
And so we're standing there, and this guy uses the phrase bunghole probably 33 times straight. And every single time it happened, Aaron, who's standing just behind me to my right, I hear him laughing like Butthead. Wearing a Beavis and Butthead t-shirt.
Yeah.
And it was just, and I thought, do I ask our tour guide if he's ever done a tour to grown men who act like they're teenage boys because we laugh every time you say bunghole?
Yeah, and he had to plug the bunghole.
He did plug it, and I don't know if he got consent or not,
Yeah.
but which, cool little thing. So it was my birthday 2 days after our tour, and they gave the bunghole plug.
Yeah.
I got one for my birthday.
You got a bunghole plug.
I got a bunghole plug for my birthday.
That's amazing.
I mean, I did ask for it, so anyway, it's going to take a little bit more whiskey for me to want to participate in a bunghole plug.
Well, there you have it, guys. Some West Virginia medals, some West Virginia whiskey.
Man, so
great
good.
time. Yeah, good on both fronts. So shout out again to Saprogen, Let the Guilty Hang, Byzantine, and Horse Burner. Keep rocking, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Have a good day, man.
Drink up.